Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. And before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette in Damier Ben. I'm in the process of downsizing to my travel bag, so this cutie has been going around with me everywhere getting everything done. So this is the bag of the day. And I also have to say I've been trying to film this video for the last 2 hours, but there are a pair of lovely doves hanging outside of my window and they are extremely loud. So if you hear something funky, it's not your computers, it's not your phones, it's the doves. I swear that it's always something, you know, with either my neighbors, doves, or what have you. So I just thought I would address that very quickly. All right, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's go to work, let's start your workout. Whatever it is that you do, come join me. Starting with the first question from Stacy Fu. Question about the Speedy. I hate that it sags on the sides, but at the same time, I love how classic it is. I have a Speedy B25 in Damier Ben, and I don't like how it looks on me, but I am still wanting the same one in Mon Mono. Am I crazy? Do you think it's the price point that makes so many people want to have it? Fantastic question, and 100% you are not crazy. Absolutely not. And you know, it's kind of like something that I've touched base on before on other previous Minks Mondays, that you might have a Mono, or you might have a Monogram Speedy 25. You might have a Demi-Azur Speedy 25. But even though they are the exact same size, they fit the exact same amount of items, they end up kind of giving you an overall different look on your outfit, and they are just worlds apart, I feel. You know, there's something that I love about Damier Ben with certain outfits. There's something that I love about Monogram or Demi-Azur. So no, definitely not. I think that's the same reason why I have the Neverfulls. I love the Neverfull in general, and you know, sometimes I just want to go for a really a light type of outfit, and I go for the Demi-Azur. If I want to be completely carefree, then I go for Damier Ben, and when I want just absolute comfort, then I go for the Monogram. So, like I said, absolutely not. You are not crazy. But you know, I've gotten this question quite a few times because people have said, you know, should I go for the same type of bag in a different print? Absolutely. If it makes your heart sing, first of all, that's the most important thing. But it adds just so much. It adds variety not only to your collection, but it ends up adding an overall different look to your outfit. So, you know, if you want it in Mon Mono, plus it's personalized, so I think it would be beautiful. But again, always go for whatever makes your heart sing. And do I think the price point makes so many people want to have it? That I think is a big thing. Plus the fact that it is such an iconic bag, and the fact that it has been around for such a long time, that it's such a classic bag that just never goes out of style. You can seriously end up just pairing it with anything and it'll look fantastic. So I think the price definitely has something to do with it, but more so it's the fact that it is such an iconic bag and it's on its own that I think that's the allure that a lot of people have towards it, at least in my case. So I don't want to speak for everyone, but that's what I end up feeling when I see any Speedy, to be honest. So fabulous questions, and hopefully I was able to help. All right, next question from Green Snowfall. Can you talk a bit about Louis Vuitton's waitlist? When on a waitlist, is one obligated to purchase the item? Do sales associates list their regular customers above others, say first-time buyers? Love this question. Okay, so when it comes to a waitlist, you are not obligated to buy the item that you were on the waitlist for by any means whatsoever. And really, when it comes to a waitlist or getting onto the waitlist, it's because you've either seen a picture, you looked at the lookbook, and usually you're on the wait list for a few weeks, a few months. Sometimes it might be a few days. It just depends on the item. But it's, you know, it's all a matter of when you physically see the item, when it's in your hot little hands, there might be something that completely turns you off. So it's not something that the sales associates will hold against you, because like I said before, until you see the item, until you get to experience it firsthand, they can't really hold you to it. You know what I mean? They can't sit there and say, well, why'd you put yourself on the wait list? No, I mean, how unfair would that be, you know, if they ended up holding it against you? But no, so they completely understand. I've been on various ones where I see the item and wasn't what I expected. It was either too lightweight, it was a little too heavy, or the color was completely off from what I thought it might have been. And I have never had any, I have never had any repercussions because of it. So no, you are not obligated to purchase the item. Now, do sales associates list their regular customers above others, say first-time buyers? That I would not be able to answer because I don't, since I don't work for the company. But I can say that I asked a sales associate this question. It was kind of, it was a little uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It was uncomfortable to ask. But when I asked the question, they kind of tiptoed around it. They didn't give me a definitive answer. So, I don't know. Part of me thinks that maybe they do. Part of me thinks that hopefully they don't, because I think everyone should get the same, chance to get something, But, I don't know. That's kind of right up there with the whole VIP gifts and whatnot. So I really wish I could answer this question, but unfortunately I don't know. So my apologies, but hopefully that was able to help as far as the wait list and not having to buy the item just because you were on the list. All right, next question from the Makeup Lover XOXO. Does Louis Vuitton offer a cleaning service for its handbags/accessories for both the inside and outside of handbags? Fabulous question, and unfortunately, Louis Vuitton does not offer a cleaning service for either the interior or exterior of the handbag. I remember I asked a district manager years and years ago if this is something that maybe they were talking about. They said that it was something that was brought up in a conference, but nothing has come to fruition. So unfortunately, they do not. Kind of like what Chanel has a spa service. You pay a couple $100s, you send the bag in, and when you get it back, it looks like it's brand new. And I sincerely feel that Louis Vuitton should maybe look at adding this type of service to their brand, only because I can only speak for myself, but it would give me a lot more peace of mind buying a handbag, knowing that they offered this type of service. I'm not saying that I don't have peace of mind now, but it would just give me a little bit more. And the reason I say that is because you all know that I don't treat any of the leather on any of my Louis Vuitton handbags. I prefer for them to have, if they do have a water stain, if they do have this, it just adds characteristic to the handbag. But let's say I got a really bad ink stain. Let's say I went to a restaurant and maybe someone dropped something on the leather. They dropped something on the interior of the bag or what have you. But knowing that this is something that they would offer would make me feel a lot better, knowing that, okay, now the bag is ruined. Let's say I can't pull the stain off myself, and let's say a professional can't get it done either, knowing that it's in the hands of the company that makes the bag, that makes the item, I think would give me peace of mind. So like I said, I can only speak for myself, but I really hope that this is something that, is in the works and something that is, is brought to light sometime soon, or not brought to light, is brought to, to the masses of people that are just such loyal Louis Vuitton customers like myself. So, yep, unfortunately they do not, but great question. All right, next question. It's very similar to the previous one. This is from MMM. Does Louis Vuitton provide the same repair services to their wallet / small leather goods like they do with handbags? Is a receipt mandatory to receive any kind of repair services? Okay, so Louis Vuitton, yes, does offer repair services for small leather goods. The biggest difference is that with handbags, let's say that you wanted to get it relined, you can do that. They end up pulling the lining and then they just put in a fresh one. But with some, some small leather goods, that might not be a possibility, only because of the type of construction that the item has. So if, for example, on some of the toiletries, they don't end up redoing the lining on the toiletry because it's so close to the canvas that they'd end up having to just completely tear the item apart, whereas before, like I said, with the handbag, they just pull the lining off and they could just put a fresh one on there. So it all depends on the item as far as how much repair they can do to it. And is a receipt mandatory to receive any kind of repair services? Okay, so this is a difficult question only because there have been I have been in contact with so many of you that have told me that you've taken your items in to get repaired and they ask for a receipt. They ask for proof of purchase. And I don't know if that has to do with the pre-loved market, if maybe, you know, they're trying to take a step back from repairing so many items, kind of like what Chanel did, that they need a receipt, that they only take care of repair items that are 5 years, you know, within the 5-year mark. Not everything, you know, I'm not saying that it is what it is, no matter what. There are, you know, there have been some, not some limitations, there have been some, what is the word that I'm trying to think of? There have been some exceptions that sales associates have done. So please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But I know a lot of people have had a lot of issues with getting their items repaired because they ask for the original receipt. They ask for the original owner's name. But at the same time, I personally haven't had any issues getting any of my Louis Vuitton items repaired. I know they can go in my history and see if I bought the item, but I've also purchased quite a few pre-loved items, and I have also gotten those repaired, and never have I been asked for a receipt. So I really wish that I can tell you with certainty, you know, how it ends up working out. But you know, it just, I've heard so many people saying that they've had such a difficult time getting their items repaired because of this. So I did reach out to a few sales associates. Some said yes, some said no. Customer service, I wasn't able to get you know, a definitive answer. So I think it might be a case-by-case scenario. I have no idea, but I really wish that it was just across the board. Like, either you need a receipt no matter what, or you don't need a receipt. Because I know that I kind of touched base on this before as well on a previous Minks Monday, that, you know, let's say that you have an item that's 30 years old that you want to get the Vachetta redone, and they will end up doing that as long as they have the items to repair the item. So if you have a bag that's, you know, 30 years old and you don't have obviously you won't have a receipt for it, you know, if you ended up buying it on the pre-loved market because, you know, the age of the item, that's when I start to question. I start to think, well, you know, how are you going to ask for a receipt for a bag that's 30, 40 years old? You know what I mean? So again, my apologies for not being able to give you a definitive answer, but I love the question. All right, next one from Megan Kathleen. What is your Louis Vuitton wish list for your London trip? Okay, so for my Louis Vuitton wish list, I only have one. Of course, it might end up changing when I get there. But for now, it is just the classic Speedy 30 in Damier Ebene. That is the one bag that has been on my brain to purchase in London for the last 8 months, 6 months, 7 months, what have you, since we booked our trip. So for now, that is the only one that I have, you know, I'm trying to keep my eyes on the prize. But, you know, what's slowly creeping in is a keep all, is another keep all. We discussed the 50 last week, and, you know, I'm thinking maybe I should add it to the collection. But for now, I'm trying to be good and only go for the Speedy 30 in Damier Ebene. But great question. All right, next one from Maria Kane and Laura Greenfield. They had similar questions, so again, I fused them together. Is it true that Louis Vuitton is discontinuing the Favorite and the Eva clutch? Fabulous question, and there has been such a buzz on social media that they are discontinuing the Eva, they're discontinuing the Favorite, you know, and a lot of people are saying, sales associates have said yes, no, you know, they're getting rid of them no matter what. So I again reached out to a couple sales associates. I called customer service 3 times to see if I got the same answer, and I did. I'm happy to say I did. So as of right now, the Eva clutch and the Favorite are not being discontinued. Verbatim from what a sales associate said, they are classic staples, classic pieces to the fashion house that they don't foresee leaving the collection at any point in time. Now, she did say that, that she gave me such great information that I just have to pass it on to you guys. But she did say that there are 4 times throughout the year that that classic pieces might end up showing a call for availability, and you know, people start to speculate thinking, okay, call for availability, they're getting rid of it, it's discontinued, what have you. But she said that there's 4 times throughout the year that happens, and it's only because they end up putting call for availability because they are getting, you know, they're getting product in, and currently they're completely wiped out. The 4 times are Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. And she said that they are barely just now recuperating from Valentine's Day. And I literally, the last sales associate that I spoke with was yesterday. And she said that just barely they are starting to regain all their stock because they were completely wiped out of, I think she said, as far as online, she said that they had 4 or 5 different handbags that were just they're completely gone. I mean, they're just, the wait lists are even longer, and they're waiting to get them back in stock. 2 of those were the Favorites and the Eva Clutch. And the other one is the Pochette Matisse, which won't be a surprise. And that's another one that a lot of people have been asking me, that is it discontinued because it says call for availability. And she said that this bag has just been, it's exceeding their expectations as to how it would have done when they first introduced it. And the popularity is still there. It continues to grow as far as how many people want to add this bag to their collection. So that is another bag that they do not see leaving their collection at any point in time. And I even said, you know, what if I'm thinking about adding an Eva Clutch in the next 6 months, you know? What then? You know, 6 months is a long time. What if you end up I'm getting so tongue-tied right now. What if in those 6 months you end up discontinuing it? And she said, no. She's all, let me look in the notes. She took time. She talked to her supervisor. She talked to her manager, and there is absolutely nothing that shows that it'll be discontinued. But this is just what I heard from, I ended up, like I said, I ended up calling quite a bit, quite a few sales associates, but as of right now, they don't foresee any of those 3 handbags leaving the collection. So hopefully that was able to help. And really the 4 days that, you know, that really blew my mind. And of course, you should expect it to happen on Christmas and Mother's Day. I didn't know that Valentine's Day would have that big of an impact as far as something being, you know, sold out. But it makes sense now that I think about it. So again, I just wanted to share the information with you. All right, next question from Apples of Heaven. That's a cool name. Have you ever bought any bags online? Which bags were they? Would you recommend purchasing online? In my current collection, I have bought 2 bags online. The first one being the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30 Mon Mono. And really it's because this is the bag you can only purchase online or at the store, but you can't physically see it first before you buy it. So this baby, and the other one that I bought, and this was pre-loved, this was from Yogi's Closet, is the Chanel GST in the beige Claire with the silver hardware and the bluish silver hardware. And it's only because it has the stickers. So these are the only 2 bags in my current collection that I have, I think, actually in general, that I've ever bought online, to be honest. Okay, so those are the bags. Would I recommend purchasing online? You know, I do and I don't. When it comes to Mon Mono, whether you get the Speedy, whether you get a bandolier keep all, whether you get a Neverfull or anything like that, then yes, I recommend obviously purchasing online. But for the most part, I'd have to say that I just feel better going into the boutique and being able to look at the item myself and see, you know, the characteristics of it or see any details, because I have had some pretty bad luck online as far as small leather goods, to the point where I've had to exchange, to the point where I've had to return. And if I can just look at the item when I'm at the boutique, and I can look it over, I can look at the glazing, I can look at, you know, every little nook and cranny, it makes me feel better when I walk out of the store knowing that I got exactly what I wanted, you know, because like I said, I had issues with buying small leather goods, and I wouldn't want the same thing to happen with buying online. I'm not saying that it's bad to buy online by any means whatsoever, especially if you don't live somewhere close to a Louis Vuitton. But I personally just feel a little bit better. And something I will also just kind of throw out there, if you do end up living, let's say 5, 6, 7 hours from a Louis Vuitton store and you can't get into the boutique, and maybe you don't necessarily want to go buying online, what I would recommend doing is calling the closest Louis Vuitton, even if it is the 8 hours away, 7 hours away, getting in contact with a sales associate, and they can actually send you pictures of the item that they have at the boutique, and they can actually end up shipping it from the store to you. So that's another thing that you can end up doing, just to give you just a little bit more peace of mind, so you see the item that you're actually going to get. So again, please don't misinterpret what I'm saying as far as buying online. It makes it great, especially if you can just get the item right then and there and then have it shipped to your house. You don't have to worry about traveling. But personally, I just like being able to see the item that I'm going to purchase. So again, I can look over all the little details, and some people might call me a diva for for doing this, or maybe I'm just a little too finicky, but to me, it just makes me feel a lot better that when I walk out of that store, I just feel comfortable about the purchase. And really, with this amount of money with any amount of money that I'm spending on any type of luxury good, I don't want to have any type of doubt, and I don't want to, again, go through the process of buying, exchanging, returning, or what have you, because that also takes time out of our busy schedules. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Al Raceby. Okay, my mouth dropped. Dillard's department store in Atlanta, Georgia, carrying pre-loved bags. Wow. Shows how profitable the pre-loved market has become. The sales associate says that they do an event twice a year. Your thoughts? Prices were pretty competitive depending on the item. PM agenda $245, Neverfull Demi-Azur in the PM size $945. Wonderful question. And I too have seen that there are quite a bit of department stores that are adding pre-loved goods into their inventory. I know, Saks Fifth Avenue has Off the Fifth, Neiman Marcus has Last Call, and they end up having quite a few pre-loved goods in their stores. And personally, I'm loving it. And the reason why I'm loving it is because I feel that it'll end up giving the buyer a lot more peace of mind knowing that it's coming from such a well-known source. Plus, I think that these department stores will end up doing their homework. They will end up going into extensive research as far as what consignment shop they end up using to trust to sell to their shoppers. So I know that Saks Fifth Avenue uses a consignment shop called, is it Twice Around? I think it's Twice Around. I can't remember. But the consignment shop is based in New York, and they have rave reviews. So like I said, I think that they'll end up doing their homework. They'll end up going for consignment shops that are reputable, that, I think offer great quality items. And again, they'll end up just giving the buyers a lot more peace of mind knowing that it's coming from them, instead of having to go through, eBay or any other place where you end up purchasing pre-loved items. Now, as far as their prices, I have seen some of these items at said stores, and the prices are, they're very competitive. Sometimes they're a little excessive in my opinion, especially for the wear that they have. I was at the Cabazon outlet, and the Off the Fifth store there had a Birkin, they had a Kelly, and they also had a Bastia coin pouch from Hermes. And the Bastia ends up retailing for $225 in the Epsom leather, if I'm not mistaken. And they had one there for $350. It had considerable amount of wear. And when I asked about the pricing, they said that it was because it was such a limited color, which I can understand because obviously Hermes offers a lot of limited edition colors, but at the same time, $350 from what it retails at $225, that's a huge difference, especially when you take into consideration that it is a pre-loved item. So the prices may not be the best, and some of the conditions of the items might not be the best either. But again, I think that it really gives a lot of people peace of mind knowing that it's coming from such a reputable source. So I am loving it, and they caught on because, like you said, the pre-loved market has become so incredibly big. There's so many, I mean, there are just so many different consignment shops, so many different, you know, you see them coming up constantly, and you know, it's just, it's amazing. So again, the pre-loved market is fabulous, and you find some amazing items on there. All right, next question from GLJ Santiago. What do you think about the Alma B&B? I am contemplating on getting it. It looks beautiful. Great question, and unfortunately I don't have a picture to share with you, but as always, I will put a link to the eye candy on the description box below. All right, so the Alma B&B, I believe, comes in at $2,270 here in the States, if I'm not mistaken. And to be honest, I don't know how I feel about this bag. Part of me likes the organization that it has. It has a little bit more than the classic Alma because you open it up and there's kind of 2 pockets on the side. It's very versatile. It comes with a strap, and there's also no vachetta, so you don't have to worry about, it's just a very carefree bag. But the other part of me thinks that maybe I'm not so keen on it because I'm so used to seeing the classic, the iconic Alma, that, you know, when you see something that's iconic and then they kind of add a different twist to it, sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get used to the other item, just because I'm so used to seeing I'm so used to seeing the classic. So to be honest, I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I've seen it at the boutique, and I kind of look at it I kind of look at it sideways, thinking, do I like it? Do I love it? But I can't. I'm smack in the middle when it comes to this bag. So I love the fact that it offers versatility, and I love the fact that it's very carefree, and it has somewhat of the same type of structure. Well, it has the same type of structure. They just kind of revamped it a little bit and gave it a little bit maybe more of a modern twist to it, but it's not necessarily for me. But if it makes your heart sing, then absolutely go for it. All right, and the last question from Beauty by Nat. What are your thoughts on the Clooney BB and or the MM? I saw them when I was visiting the New York City Louis Vuitton boutique in Macy's. I considered that as an alternative for the Pochette Métis because it's so hard to get. Any thoughts? And again, unfortunately, I do not have a picture to share with you, I don't think. If I do, I'll include it. If not, then I will put a link on the description box below so you can check out more eye candy, because I didn't really have a lot this week. But the Clooney BB and the MM, I absolutely 100% love these bags. My goodness. I believe that the BB is 9.8 inches in length, and the MM is 11.3, 11.9, don't quote me on it. And I think both sizes are fantastic. There is something that I love about this bag. I don't know if it's the silhouette that it has. It looks like it's a very classic, it's a simple design. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles. It comes with a strap, so you have a little bit more versatility. I love the fact that it opens up, and it just, you know, it reminds me of a bag that would be around in the 1940s, and maybe that's what kind of draws me so much to this to this particular silhouette. But I love it. It has a zipper. It's just such a beautiful bag. It holds its structure so incredibly well, and I'm just a big fan, whether you get it in the epi, whether you get it in the canvas version. I think it's gorgeous, and I can only imagine if they ended up offering it in the empreinte leather. And I will go as far as saying that so far I haven't added an empreinte bag to my collection. I think that they're beautiful. I haven't, you know, it hasn't really won me over as far as going ahead and pulling the trigger and buying an empreinte bag. But I think I can say, I should say, that if they offered the Clooney bag in the empreinte leather, that would probably end up being my first bag, just because I am so crazy about the silhouette that it has. So I'm loving it. Whether you get the BB or the MM, I think it fits a substantial amount of items in there as well. So it's not too small. And like all of you have seen with the mini bags that I have, they're tiny, but they pack a punch. So never judge, never judge the size of a bag but by what you might think ends up fitting in there. I keep getting tongue-tied, my goodness. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to help. We had some amazing questions this week, and I fear that this video might be a little bit shorter only because I was trying to get the questions as they were coming in. Because when you see this, I will not be in California. I will be in London. So again, thank you guys so much for the wonderful questions. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.